It's more challenging than ever to meet the demands of competing priorities that work throws our way. From emails to reports and project proposals, we need help to get it all done. Grammarly is the essential AI communication assistant that boosts your productivity at work, so you can get more of what you need done faster, no matter what or where you're writing. Grammarly sets the standard for responsible AI and equips you with the best tools to do your job. Like AI-powered features that help you write and edit quickly everywhere you write. Or tone features that help you communicate more confidently. Just a few clicks can tailor your tone and writing so you come across exactly as you intend. No wonder 93% of professionals report that Grammarly helps them get more work done. Let Grammarly take the busy work off your plate so you can focus on high-impact work. Download Grammarly for free at grammarly.com/podcast. That's grammarly.com/podcast.
Always follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Happy New Year. We are live today, downtown Las Vegas. This show is brought to you by DraftKings. And Michael Lombardi is joining us a half an hour early today here on New Year's Day. Michael, I hope you had a great night last night. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, too. Yeah, when you have grandkids and they're around you, it's always a good New Year, you know? So thankfully, very grateful for the great New Year, and hopefully we'll have a great 2024.
Back at you. So now it's like 36 hours after the fact, and I know that you've talked about this a lot. Where are you at today with what happened Saturday night with the whole fiasco at the end of the Cowboys and Lions game?
You know, we spend so much time on replay. You know, we go up to the booth, we get it right. Like, I don't understand why we couldn't get that right. Like, why couldn't we get that right? You know, and I think what makes the case for the Lions so compelling is that Campbell went to them before the game and talked about the play. We did the similar thing in 2014 when we were playing the Baltimore Ravens and we went with an unbalanced look with Michael Human as the tackle, but he was really the tight end. Kind of got us back in the game. Harbaugh went berserk on the sidelines. But Vinovich I think he was the official that day. And, you know, we talked about it with him. Belichick talked about it with him before the game. He understood it. And we put it in, ran it twice on that drive. So, you know, I don't see how we can see Brad Allen doing any games. I mean, he misses a horrendous pass interference call in the Kansas City game. Then he blows this one. And really, it's all now we're in the cover-up stage. I mean, this is truly becoming the Warren Commission. We're going to cover up. He said, she said, no one said. I mean, it's really unfair. And in light of the fact that, you know, what makes this really, really interesting is that the Eagles lost.
Yeah.
Had the Lions won, it would have put them as the 2 seed. Now they're sitting there as the 3 seed facing the Los Angeles Rams potentially, and that ain't good for them.
All great points, no doubt, because, you know this all your time in the league, the ramifications of what happened. Detroit could have been the 2 seed, and I know your guy Belichick has been saying it forever. Everything should be reviewed. You can't count or depend on these guys or trust them anymore with some of the stuff that happened. And Campbell was just, he lost it afterwards because he explained everything to a T, and they still got it wrong.
But let's not forgive Campbell. Turns down points in the second quarter.
Okay.
Why, I don't know. He's got 6 more possessions in the game. Why not? You know, when I first learned about football at the early age of 5, someone told me the object of the game was to get the most points. And for some reason, we are now in this world where we've taken the NBA three-pointer and no longer wanting 2s and transferred it into the NFL, where we no longer want 3 points. We'll just want 7 or nothing. And the game still is about collecting points. If he takes the 3 points there, he wins the game. If he kicks the extra point, he gets it to overtime. So, like, as much as I want to defend Campbell here, his game strategy is horrendous. He's so aggressive.
Yeah.
And I know he's got a whole community behind him that thinks he's doing wonderful things. So did Brendan Staley. How's that working out for him? You know, and I think, to me, your job in the second quarter in a close game is to collect points. It isn't like he's sitting there with the 64 Packers where he was going to get the ball back in 3 plays at the 1-inch line. Like, they were going to move the ball on the Lions, and they did. So, like, I can't feel sorry for him. I certainly don't feel sorry for Mike McCarthy and his game management. Throwing that pass at the end of the game after they called their second timeout, what are we thinking about here? What are we thinking about? You know, we want to be able, the clock's as much as our opponent. It's a 2-dimensional game at that point.
I thought that was, you're exactly right. I thought both guys were maybe let off the hook a little bit because Brad Allen just completely botched it at the very end of the game, and he deserved to get eviscerated. But
he did.
McCarthy's clock management is some of the worst I've ever seen.
It's horrible. And so is Campbell's. Let's be clear here now. Campbell's strategy to go for it. And, one of the things you do as an obligation to your team is to give them every opportunity to win the game. If we want to make the football game come down to one play, then why don't we just put the ball in the 5? You got a shot, I got a shot, and we'll play 3 plays and the game will be over. 80,000 people will come to watch one play. Why not get it into overtime? Why not? And if you lose in overtime, that's one thing. But why lose? When the ball got moved back to the 7, everybody that I was watching the game with looked at me and are you kidding me? He's not going to kick the extra point?
That I couldn't believe. I was shocked by that, no doubt. He also faked a punt from his own 15 again. It worked, but we saw what happened on Thanksgiving against Green Bay. Explain what the Giants were doing. I loved your tweet. They settled for a 54-yard field goal?
I think the other thing I learned at an early age is there's a difference between being in field goal range and making the field goal, right? That's a distinction that when you're behind in a game, you as the head coach have to understand, right? You got Mason Crosby. Why he's on your team, I don't know. He was so erratic last year. There's got to be somebody who can kick better, but he's on your team. But you got to know in your heart, you watch pregame warm-up, you've watched them all week, you got to know that we got to make this a chip shot for this guy. And if he misses a chip shot, so be it. But to spike the ball and then to run 2 bad plays and to think he's going to make a 50-yarder, are you kidding me? I thought that was as bad as it gets. Why they spiked it, I have no idea. Why waste a play? Keep running a play.
Yep.
The Rams were trying to get lined up. They were exhausted. They were running back. Tyrod Taylor could have ran quarterback draw for another 10 yards for all we know. I thought it was just another example of poor game management at the end. Now, they'll blame it on the communication. Well, we wanted to do that. No, that was horrible. The object of the game is to get into makeable field goal range, not field goal range.
Now, having said that, where would you put Sean McVay today in terms of pecking order Coach of the Year?
Well, considering I think when I looked at his team this summer, I thought it was a disaster. And I think he's Coach of the Year, but he won't get it because these teams that get into that wild card area don't get enough credit. Now, Kevin Stefanski deserves a ton of credit because we watched our dear friend Robert Saleh, who's done a wonderful job and deserves to come back at the New York Football Giants. I don't know if you could do a better job. How about this, guys? Robert Saleh's coached 50 games. Eric Mangini took the team to the playoffs. He coached 48 and got fired. Robert Saleh coached 50. He's got a 33% winning percentage, but let's run it back, right?
Wow.
So, give Stefanski's evidence. If you're presenting the case for Stefanski, your first witness to the courtroom is Robert Saleh because he shows you how good Stefanski is.
Yeah, unbelievable. How bad is it right there on talk radio with Philly?
Oh, my God.
This defense is like Mitch. It's got to be the worst in the league right now. But
you're up 21-3, and you let the Arizona Cardinals. Just so we put this in perspective, Kyler Murray's all his numbers, analytical numbers, advanced stats numbers, were just slightly ahead of Aiden O'Connell. Slightly ahead of Aiden O'Connell. As the worst quarterback in the league. And you let this team run the ball down your throat to come back and win the game. It was funny. They had it when I'm watching the game and they panned the crowd when the Eagles kicked the field goal. And all my Goomba friends were in the stands. I could see them all and they all had this look of either they had a really bad stomach ache or they knew the Cardinals were going to score. You figure it out, right? And they knew the Cardinals were going to get 7. They knew that field goal wasn't really going to win the game for them. And the Cardinals went right down the field and scored. Look, this problem in Philly has gone on. Remember, the Chiefs were down 10 at the half and scored against them, right? And then they signed back. They signed back Slay. They signed back Bradbury. Why? I don't know, because that was the weak link of their team. And, they've always tried to get away with no linebackers. But the concerning part here is how bad their defensive line is playing in terms of the run. That's really the biggest fault here. They should be better up front against the run.
Okay, how about let's be positive. Would you run it back, bring everyone back in Chicago?
I think you have to. I really do. I think Eberflus has done a great job. I mean, look, his defensive coordinator gets arrested or whatever happens to him.
Yep.
His running back coach, the whole thing's fallen apart. There was a ton of injuries. I think he's done a really good job. I still don't think Justin Fields is your starting quarterback. However, he's got value. I would draft the quarterback and trade Fields. You're not going to pay Fields $50 million a year. You're not going to pay him a second contract. That's really the question. It isn't, are we going to run it back with Fields? Are we going to pay Fields? You have to reframe the question.
Okay.
And I think if you're Ryan Poles, you're not paying Fields.
Yeah, and there's no middle ground, right? Like, if he's going to be the franchise quarterback, it has to be one of those jaw-dropping contracts. It can't be like a 4-year deal for $87 million. It's got to be the full boat.
Well, I mean, that's what the Giants gave Daniel Jones, and all of us shook our heads and said, what are we doing here?
Yep.
So you're going to pay him the same deal as Daniel Jones? He's not even as good. I mean, he makes more plays than Daniel Jones, but in the fourth quarter, he's going to turn the ball over.
Can they get a first-round pick for Justin Fields?
I think that would be hard, but I think they could get a high pick. Look, it's beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Did I think Carson Wentz would go for what he went for when he went to Washington? No. But, there is value. Look at Derek Carr. Look at the contract Carr got down at the Saints. Now, you think the Saints are happy with that deal? No. But they won yesterday, so they're going to pretend they are.
Mm-hmm. Do you like anybody today in either of the college football playoff games, Michael?
I love both coaches in the first game, right? I love the captain, Mr. Harbaugh. Hiring Don Yee is a signal, I think, to everybody. Because one thing about Jim Harbaugh, he usually doesn't have an agent. And when he hired Don Yee, that tells me everything. And Don's a good man. Don's well connected in the league. I think it's hard for me. I think unless J.J. McCarthy plays an unbelievable game, I think Alabama's going to win. I think Milroe's movement is going to give the Michigan defense some trouble. And Milroe's movement with his eye level up the field is a dangerous proposition, which didn't happen in the month of September. I like Washington. I think Caden DeBoer is undervalued.
Yes.
I think this Washington team is undervalued. I mean, they beat Oregon twice. Oregon is as good a team as you're going to see in college football, and they beat them twice. I like Washington.
You think him hiring Don Yee means he's going to the NFL?
I think it means something, yeah. I do. I really do. And why wouldn't he go to the NFL? Why wouldn't they court him? I mean, if you're the Chargers, what are you going to do? You're going to hire another offensive play caller?
I think you're spot on, yeah. And with what he's up against potentially Michigan moving forward, great stuff today as always, Michael. Happy New Year. Thanks so much for the time.
Happy New Year, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Lombardi Line, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific. Podcast is called GM Shuffle. His book, Football Done Right. Up next, we'll recap a lot of the betting action that took place from yesterday and a little bit from over the weekend as well, and win some, lose some here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All good points, Mitch, but it'll be depressing when these Mondays are over here. Love coming in and recapping all the action.
Oh, there's nothing like it.
First touchdown. How about the Patriots 15-1? They return the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Highest scoring team, the Ravens, 12-1. Highest scoring game, Ravens-Dolphins, 5-1. Lowest scoring game, Carolina, Jacksonville, plus 450. Lowest scoring team, Carolina, plus 750. Shutout. See that, buddy? That's your IQ. 0. 200-yard receiver. Yes, plus 650 at DraftKings. Back-to-back weeks. CeeDee Lamb does it. And the 90-yard touchdown right off the bat helped us. He had a huge game for the Cowboys. Most passing yards, Lamar Jackson, 20-1. Most receiving yards, DJ Moore, 25-1. Most rushing yards, they didn't count the Saturday games. Most rushing yards, James Conner, 30-1. Cardinal money line, plus 550. Will there be a shutout? Yes, 3-1. You were all over this Friday. McCaffrey to score a touchdown. No, plus 450.
Oh, where'd you see that at?
It was $9.
No, I know that. Where'd you see the no plus 450?
Several places.
Oh, did you really?
It was $9, the high.
I never saw a no.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to bet it. I never saw one.
Yeah, really? Unbelievable.
As high as $9 told people, don't throw that into your same-game parlays.
And was pretty much 5-6 standard, though, at other places?
Oh, yeah.
Caesar's William Hill at $9.
Yeah. He was in the $5-6 range.
Yeah, unbelievable. He doesn't get in the end zone. Maryland, plus 170. Beat Auburn in the Bowls. Ole Miss, plus 190. Memphis, plus 320. Beat Iowa State. Fulham yesterday, plus 550. Beat Arsenal. And it happened again. College basketball. Florida Gulf Coast. They were a 17-point dog. They beat Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic did it again.
12-1 in the money line?
They've lost as a 17 and a 20-point favorite this year. They just beat Arizona out here. What's going on? Lipscomb plus 350. Beat Florida State. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com. Our radio and podcast friends. Happy New Year. I'm going to put under win some. I mean, this is Spicoli. All I need is some tasty waves and a little buzz. And look at these waves in Malibu. Now, you saw what happened Friday in Ventura with that rogue wave. But it's a surfer's paradise what's going on here, where these guys coming out and how big these waves were over the weekend in Southern California. I mean, I saw these guys with it's like Swayze at Point Break.
Say, is that Bodie?
Yeah, Bodie.
It's the 50-year storm?
Yeah, take the handcuffs off. Come on, let me go. Let me get out there.
I told you this. I watched it 2 months ago. Holds up.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good stuff.
Okay. Wow, very good. And this is a great video. This is the nosy neighbor who's a dog. Look at this guy.
Oh, this is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, how'd he get up there? He jumps on the top of the fence. He's looking across at the neighbors and, jumps off the fence and then goes back, does it again. He jumps up and comes up on the tree to get up on the top, and he's just peekaboo, just looking at the neighbors. He's going from tree to tree, and he's going on the top of he's got the Jordan hang time here, what he's doing, jumping up on the fence.
Look at his balance, though. Jean-Claude
right?
Van Damme.
Yeah, right. This is a top 5 dog video. I know I've said that 20 times, but I can't believe this. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. No hyperbole. Well, you got, it's number 12. And look at this nosy neighbor. You can do it again? Okay. All right, he's coming out, the corgi. I think it's a corgi coming out. And he's good friends with the lab. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Good to see you again. How's your day? Things all right? Now he goes over. Now he uses it in front of the glass. They're like, hey, come on, what are you back and they're arguing back and forth, and they're showing teeth, and they're fighting, and they're arguing.
I told you to knock it off.
Right, when they were just good friends. Yes. But now they become two-faced. And now they become enemies because the dog separated them, and now they're talking trash, and they're showing their teeth against each other.
All right?
Okay, let's do it again. And now he's doing it again. Now they shut the door. And he's coming in and he's talking trash. And you want a piece of me, huh? You like that, huh? Oh, hey, how you doing? Hey, how are things, huh? Happy New Year. How you doing, buddy? And it's just okay. But then when the doors open again and they have I'm talking trash and I'm going after the guy. Incredible. They're doing it again. All right, Dre, you got to put that up. At Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. We'll put the nosy dog neighbor up. And this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Lose some. Clemson, Kentucky under. 48.5 down to 44. Finally, we got some good bowl games here. And that was a good start with the action. Oregon State from 10 down to 5. Not even close. Blown out by Notre Dame and the under. 46.5 down to 40. Iowa State from 6 up to 10.5. Lost the game. Auburn from 2.5 got to 7. Settled at 4.5. Lost to Maryland. Wyoming plus 1.5 on off a 5-point favorite. Well, they won, but Greg Bowl, ooh. They win by 1 and beat Toledo. The Chargers from 6.5 down to 3.5, no good. And the Carolina Panthers from 7.5 down to 3.5. 26 rip. I know it was C.J. Beathard, but it's still, I don't know. Bryce Young's terrible. Lose some. This is awesome. Bad enough what was going on Saturday night. This was going on at the same time in Minneapolis. No one's safe. The NBA. LeBron James from 3. Count it, tie game against the T-Wolves in a great game. Nope. Brothers comes in immediately. Nope, I'm counting it a 2. His foot's behind the line. It was called a 2, not a 3. How about LeBron James after the game about we got replay and we still can't get it right? What are we doing here?
I mean, it's obvious at 3. My foot is behind the line. I mean, you can see the space between my front of my foot and the 3-point line. You can literally clearly see a white. The wood on the floor is a space in between my front of my foot and the 3-point line. So there's no. Stevie Wonder can see that, champ.
Did Tony Brothers have an explanation on the spot?
Brothers did not, but I didn't talk to Tony Brothers. I talked to the other ref, and they said it was out of their hands. The Secaucus, whatever, over there in the replay center or whatever. Somebody over there eating a ham sandwich or somebody made the call.
All right, that's Spectrum Sportsnet. And how good is LeBron? There's the ham sandwich. There it is. There's Steve Javie. A while back, when he's being interviewed on television, there's the ham sandwich. LeBron nailed it. Hey, champ. So, Stevie Wonder can see that, champ.
Are you sure, like, when he jumped, the top of his shoe did not touch the line?
I totally, I'm with LeBron. I see there's space there. There's no way that can be called a 2.
I think there is a way.
Oh, come on.
I think when he's jumping up like this and his foot is going like that, and right before he jumps, I think the very top of his shoe is touching the line.
Why wouldn't you call it a 3, though? Why would you immediately come in and say 2? You can't see that, though, on the court.
That's bang, bang. I mean, that's tough. I mean,
come on. How good is that, though? That's Spectrum Sportsnet. Hello, Los Angeles. We watch you every Laker game. We love you. That's unbelievable. Stevie Wonder can see it. Champ calls him
to
champ.
Be all over
and
that,
then the ham sandwich. There's the ham sandwich. There it is. Let's go back to Secaucus and check in with our guy, Steve Javie. Oh, he's got a ham sandwich there sitting in the back. Got a pickle? A little pickle on the side?
Oh, by the way, side note, Lakers blown out again last night by the Pelicans. What are they? I think they're 3-8 since the in-season tournament championship game.
For Anthony Davis and LeBron James to play like this, and that's their record, ugly. Bad for the books. Oh, boy. Georgia, 13.5, closed a 24-point favorite. I asked Brad Powers, would it get to 21? It got to 24.
I kicked around the idea on Friday, like, would Kirby Smart feel sorry for Norvell?
Yeah.
It didn't matter. I mean, Georgia could have done the tush-push the entire game, and they would have covered.
I know. Ole Miss, Penn State over, 48.5 up to 53. Raiders, Colts under, 44 down to 42.5, fell 43. 2 bad beats. Tottenham, Bournemouth under 3.5 yesterday. 1-0, 71st minute. They put 3 in on you late. Come on. And I had this. How about this one? How about if you had the Bengals plus 7? 17-7 late second quarter, Bengals lead. The Chiefs don't score a touchdown. They kick 6 field goals the rest of the way but cover and shut out the Bengals. 25-17. You got to be kidding. New customers can bet $5 and pocket $150 in bonus bets instantly, and you get the NBA League Pass for the rest of the season. Download the app, use promo code VSiN when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook. Crown is yours. Great job, guys. That was fun. That was excellent. And I will echo Mitch's sentiments. If you had 3 or 3.5 on the Colts, that's brutal. That is tough. But that's 4th and inches. You get the first down. The game's over. Run the clock out? I didn't get that.
Here's what I have as a breakdown of what happened in that game.
Okay.
Colts 1st and 10 at the Raiders 22, had to settle for a field goal to make it 20-10. This is in the fourth quarter. Raiders jumped off sides on 4th and 5, not enough for them to kick a first down. Raiders out of timeouts. Shane Steichen kicked the field goal from the Raiders 26 later on. 4th and 1, they just go to the soft prevent defense. They allowed the Raiders to go right down the field. It's 4th and 1, and Adams made a great play, but he had to pin that ball against his head the entire time as he's getting pushed out of bounds.
That's the other thing from Saturday night. Not only did McCarthy throw the ball on 2nd and 3rd down, he went prevent defense.
Yeah.
Just giving
guys were wide open the whole time.
How easy was that for Goff?
Yep.
Oh, it was terrible all the way around. Oh.
Game by game in the playoffs, I can't back that team because of him.
I know.
That's like a gambling rule that I've lived by since I learned my lesson many times when he was in Green Bay. And it's continued to be a problem in Dallas. How about the play that he drew up against San Francisco at the end of the game 2 years ago?
Right, with the Zeke thing? Yeah.
Last
year, yeah.
Cole Cubelic is going to join us from ESPN up next. I'm big on Alabama. What should scare me the most about Michigan? We'll ask him coming up.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
If you're looking for a betting edge this bowl season, the VSiN experts have you covered. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber with an intro offer of $9.99. You get access to every play, every host, every guest, the betting splits, where the money and bets are moving every game. Don't miss out. Limited time offer. VSiN.com/subscribe. VSiN.com/subscribe.
We're going to hit the 2 college playoff games here. Cole Cubelic is kind enough to join us here early on New Year's Day. You can get his podcast wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. It's The Cube Show. Also, he's going to be on ESPN2 tonight for the coverage of the Sugar Bowl. Cole, Happy New Year. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, guys. Happy New Year. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, before we get into what you're going to be a part of tonight with the Sugar Bowl in Washington as a 4-point dog against Texas, I'm big on Alabama. I believe that you are in that same boat, believe that they're going to win this game tonight. But what should we be most concerned about tonight with Michigan?
Well, I think the wrong team's favored, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I think if you have concerns with Michigan, it would be the lack of explosive capabilities offensively. I think it would be the lack of creativity offensively. I mean, you look at what Michigan has done. They've only gone RPO 3% of the time this year. They only play action 20% of the time. They've only run the ball outside the tackles 26% of the time. 15% of their throws at or behind the line of scrimmage. There's just not a ton of variety in what they do. And the teams that have had success against Alabama's defense, and I know that there are teams, some that have not won a ton of games that people continuously like to point to, but what those folks need to understand is what they have done to find that success is use creativity. And Michigan just doesn't have enough of it. They don't have a lot of it. Can they get to it? Maybe. I don't know how much they can add in 2 or 3 weeks that they haven't really shown across the course of a season. This Alabama defense has been diagnosing offenses better and better throughout the late in the season. And then physically, that Alabama offensive line has made great strides throughout the course of this year behind Eric Wolford, their offensive line coach. And they have the ultimate X factor in Jalen Milroe. I don't think Michigan has a guy like that, nor have they seen a guy like that.
How about also just as simple as Saban's the best and with a month to prepare, other than the Ohio State game against Urban Meyer, when you give this guy a month to prep, he's been automatic.
I mean, it's not even in playoff settings. You look at the Sugar Bowl last year. You look at, I forget the bowl game. I think it was the Citrus Bowl. They went down and played Michigan State the one year, 2010, I think it was. They had a bit of a fall off. I mean, it doesn't happen in this spot where teams go out with that extra time to prepare and beat a Nick Saban coach football team. So I think you're exactly right.
Yeah. What do you expect from J.J. McCarthy in this game?
I think J.J. McCarthy needs to do more in this game. I think I would not be surprised to see 10, 12 runs kind of by design, whether it's a draw, whether it is some sort of a zone read keep, whether it's just a direct quarterback run, be it kind of a quarterback power counter, something like that. They've got to add that in. And I think he's going to have to do more through the air. One of the bigger problems for Michigan, too, is they can't live in second and third and long. They've got to have success on first down. Michigan's had a tackle problem for the last month of the season. Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell are going to be able to get home if they're consistently trying to live there. So I think J.J. McCarthy's got to be big for this team. Listen, the one thing Michigan has done extremely well has played clean football this entire season. They're plus 17 in the turnovers. They have 38 flags on the season. They've only turned the ball over on offense 5 times the entire year. 19 flags on their offense the entire year. If they don't play clean football, I don't think any of this is going to matter, because I think that's the most important aspect of their team this entire season.
So it sounds to me that you don't really think Michigan's even going to be in this game very much. I think you said wrong team's favored. You're kind of making a case here that Alabama could blow Michigan out.
I'm confident Alabama wins the game. The reason I don't think it will be by 17, 21 points is because I think the game does kind of slow down. I don't think that the tempo of this game is furious. I think both offenses have a chance to get bogged down for multiple series. So I don't know if the possessions are going to allow Alabama to blow them out. Unless there's a couple turnovers for scores, you get those non-offensive touchdowns. That might be the only path that I would see for an Alabama blowout. But I do think Michigan is a good enough football team, a sound enough football team to be competitive. I mean, J.J. McCarthy's 25-1. So I think it's competitive. I just think Alabama has too much in the end.
Is this going to be a Texas home game tonight?
There are a lot of Texas fans in town that I've seen walking around, and I'm staying right across the street from the Texas Hotel, so maybe my view of it is a little bit clouded. But I've seen a fair amount of Washington fans. I've heard that ticket prices have gone down in the last 48 hours, and I don't think it will just be a Texas home game. They'll probably have a little bit of an advantage from a noise perspective, but I don't think it's anything that's really going to affect Washington in the game.
I love Washington playing the no respect card here as their 4-point underdogs and undefeated. What do you think how this matchup goes, and if Pennick has success through the air against the Texas defense?
I think one big thing to watch in this game of Michael Penix's over 4,200 passing yards this year, 2,200 of those have come outside the numbers. And you might just say, well, okay, they throw it to the perimeter outside a lot. Well, that's also down the field. And I think you have a Texas secondary that's already not great. So what does that force Texas to do defensively? Safeties, a little further back, a little further out. That opens up the middle of the field for, say, a Jack Westover at tight end. Also, Maybe you widen your linebackers out. You widen your defensive ends out a little bit. That could open up some run lanes, even though you have T'Vondre Sweat inside, even though you have Byron Murphy inside, and that makes it a little bit easier for Dillon Johnson to get going. I think this is a bit of a track meet style football game. I think both teams are going to score. And this is not super analytical, guys. I know you don't need a college football expert on to tell you this, but I just truly believe there's something about this Washington team. I think they have the it factor, whatever that it is. I asked Kalen DeBoer about it the other day. He referenced confidence, and it's something that they talk about as a team. They meet as a team about it in the offseason. They talk about certain situational football moments, and he said that's why they play their best when the bright lights are on. I just think this team knows how to win games. I think they're a mature team, a grown-up team, a team that loves each other truly, and that's why I think Washington advances.
Yeah, so you think they win that game outright. I was going to ask you, I mean, just, based on a lot of things here as well. I mean, the Pac-12 was really, really good this year, and that team went undefeated. They had a lot of good wins to beat Oregon twice, and again, the lack of respect here. They were a 10-point dog in the Pac-12 title game out here in Las Vegas. They won that game for a second time this year, and the Big 12, Cole, wasn't that great. I know the Longhorns had that great win all the way back in September on the road against Alabama. But when you're comparing conferences here, Pac-12, I think, clearly was better than the Big 12 this year, don't you think?
I do. And there's one other part of that, and you could bring up TCU from a year ago. People remember when we were going into the playoff, they've trailed in the fourth quarter 4 times this year or 6 times, whatever it was. Washington, what do they have? 7 one-score wins, whatever that is.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why people use that against teams. I don't know why people try to use that as a detriment as to tell you that a team is not good. I don't think people understand how hard it is to win a football game when you're up 3 in the fourth quarter. Like, you got to play perfect football or to be down in the fourth quarter and find a way to win a game. You can't make mistakes when you do those things and when those are the kind of games you're involved in. So I actually gain respect for teams where a lot of people, I think, lose respect for teams that are in close games or trail in the fourth quarter. It's hard as hell to go win a game in the fourth quarter when you're playing a team that's almost as good as you, or the talent's about even, and they're playing a great game, because you have to play mistake-free football, and that's not an easy thing to do. So that's just another sort of, I guess, check a box check for Washington that makes me feel like they have that it factor. Like they have something different about them that not a lot of teams have.
And all the long winning streak, and they find a way to get it done. Do you think Ryan Day should be on the hot seat?
Absolutely not. No. I think, bowl games outside of the playoff, I think our context on what we want these bowls to be, I don't think it can just be one thing. I don't think it's black and white. I don't think there's a carbon copy of what we can take away from bowl games. Some, like with Missouri and with Arizona and teams like that, they're teams that have great continuity, that want to go win for their school. They have a lot of pride in their program. Other schools, they have guys that have bailed to go get ready for the draft, or guys that are going to hit the portal and they're not happy and go play somewhere else, and you're just not going to get the same kind of a football team. And the thing that we forget about guys in the portal, when somebody leaves and those next guys come in, they haven't gotten a ton of reps across the course of the year. They're not just ready to go play against high-level competition, specifically that Florida State-Georgia game. Now, I will tell you, in some of these games, too, you got to question the effort, and that's one thing people are not doing. A couple of these letdown performances, Florida State specifically, go watch the overall effort of that football team. It's not satisfactory. So you can say guys were out, but they also didn't play hard, and that will be something that bothered me even more.
Yeah. What is New Orleans like on New Year's Eve?
Up until about 8:30, it was wild, but I can't tell you after that, because there ain't no way in hell I'm going to Canal Street or Bourbon Street after 10 p.m. in New Orleans. I went to bed.
Yeah, I don't listen. We've lived in Vegas for 20 years. I used to do that when I was in my 20s, and then I realized this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. What am I doing? And I also go to bed around 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. Cole, that was excellent stuff today.
Guys, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I had 2 people in the elevator in 2 different instances yesterday asking me what my New Year's Eve plans were, and I didn't know that last night was New Year's Eve. So
that's strong.
That's
okay,
there you go.
There you go. Happy New Year, Cole. Thanks so much for the time today. We appreciate that.
Happy New Year. Thanks, guys.
There you go. His podcast is called The Cube Show, and get it wherever you get your podcast, and he's going to be a part of the coverage tonight on ESPN2 for Texas and Washington. Also, he had a phenomenal interview with a player from Arizona State after their bowl game win against Oklahoma.
Arizona.
Yeah. Yep. After the game against Oklahoma. It took off on social media. You got to try to find it. We'll retweet it as well. It's great. In Pocket Plays coming up next here on VSiN.
has an algorithm to determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
All right, mixed bag. Sorry with the soccer. Ipswich had played 10 of 12 overs, but a 0-0 detector was out against QPR on Friday. No good there. Vicious push with the Colts, lane 3. Tough one. Mitch outlined it. Just everything had to go wrong.
Why did they not go
end.
for it on 4th and inches?
I know, you can run the clock out. That was, Bears lane 3, easy winner against Atlanta. Cowboys, another one. This is such a tough racket. I mean, Dallas, how that played out where you're up 7, you can run the clock out. Why you 45 seconds? You're going to win the game and cover. Why are you throwing the ball, McCarthy? Dallas lane 6, no good. The parlay was good, though. Dallas money line with the Browns from Thursday. This was, to me, a big surprise. I couldn't believe how bad and flat Tampa was against the Saints. Blown out at home. And just treated the game like, okay, we'll just beat Carolina and win the division. Also had a winner with the Rams plus money to make the playoffs that we gave out and bet a while back as well. Mitch had it as high as 250. We were a little lower than that as well. For the new plays, on to Week 18. And I'm gonna ride with Tomlin here in the Steelers. Now, it could come out that maybe Harbaugh sits everybody, which he's supposed to do, but still, who's been better in the history of preseason football than Harbaugh? And you can still throw Huntley out there in the backups and give the Steelers a game. We've seen time and time again. Must win doesn't mean must bet. And that teams in this situation lose. Certainly look at what the Lions did last year against the Packers. But, oh my God, again. I'll take the Bengals.
Nurse, you got the Bengals as well, minus 4.5. Yep. And I like this play as well. You're on the Patriots, minus 2 against the Jets. Pauly went out all night last night. Full disclosure here, he loves New Year's Eve. He hasn't been to bed yet, and he's on a bender, so that's why the joking today. I'm joking, by the way. A little facetious there. Okay, my plays. Steelers plus 3.5. They won it outright against the Seahawks. It was a really bad performance by Seattle. That was just, they could not get Pittsburgh off the field.
It was easy.
It was every drive.
Plus 3 second half was outrageous.
Colts minus 3.5. No good. I documented that one. I thought that one stung. And here's another one, too. 49ers Commanders first half over 24.5. That was a loser. This is part of the reason why. I was also on the Cowboys in the contest. These coin flip games, I say this all the time, they have to go your way. But also, it's a little discouraging in the moment. But, next year, I'm absolutely going to be in, the contests again out here, Circa Millions and Super Contests over at the Westgate. Because once I get, eventually it's going to go my way. Where these coin flip games will hit more often than they don't, and then all of a sudden, hey, I'm in the mix, and I have a chance to maybe finish strong and be in the money. That was another one. Over 24.5 for the first half. First drive of the game for San Francisco. 1st and 10 at the Washington 19-yard line, settled for a field goal. Later on in that quarter, 1st and goal at in the half. 1st and goal at the Washington 2-yard line. It was right before the half. A 2-yard loss with McCaffrey, incomplete, settled for a field goal. Against the worst defense in football. The play calling at the end, pretty brutal. And the Rams to make the playoffs plus 240 got there last night. That's a winner.
Why? How come all books haven't graded that yet? It's not in my app yet either at one spot. It should be graded a winner.
I would think so, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm adding it now, yeah. I was going to anyway. A lot to like here with Washington. Both these teams are really, really good.
I was going to ask you this. It's DeBoer against Sark.
Yeah, I know. Yes. I had that in my notes. I forgot to bring it up.
They called him 7-win Sark at Washington.
They did.
He went to USC. Disaster. I know the problem with elbow.
Just take the rest of the show off. We'll see you in 2025, Paul. Good luck to you the rest of the year. So I've added Washington plus 4. You're right. It was 7-win Sark. Is this a revenge game? Am I making a mistake here? Sark against his former team. But you're right. He went to USC. He was eventually fired. He was drinking too much.
How about Atlanta? He was the OC with the Falcons. He was horrible. Yeah. He had Julio Jones and
another thing I'm wondering about. Now, I wasn't there, but some of these pictures that came out from Media Day when the entire throng of media was around Arch Manning and Quinn Ewers was sitting there by himself. He's looking back I don't know if they were done talking to Quinn at that time and they moved over to Arch, But there's nobody talking to Quinn at all, not a single person.
Yeah.
He's looking back. There's countless people around Arch Manning wanting to talk to him. So that was weird. But I love Penix. I love the offense. I love DeBoer as well. And pending Alabama money line, every which way but loose in this game against Michigan. And I made this last week as well as a hedge bet. I'll be okay to lose this one because I have the Cowboys at plus 650 to win their division. I did not think it was going to go like this. Eagles to win the NFC East and Alabama money line paid plus 150. It's a dead ticket now the way it looks.
Yeah.
So, but I'll lose that one no problem as long as Dallas wins the NFC East like I talked about.
There you go. Before you make your next bet, be sure to visit VSiN.com. Check the current betting splits data. Want to know where the money and bets are moving in at every NFL or bowl game? It's updated with DraftKings odds every 5 minutes. Betting splits another way. VSiN's here to make you smarter, better year-round. Check it out every game. VSiN.com/splits.
I'll give you some numbers that are on the move here. Last few minutes at some books anyway. Steelers now up to 4.
All right.
Steelers are up to 4, taking money this morning. And this game's not posted at every book, but the Lions are now up to 5 against Minnesota. And Kevin O'Connell, I believe, this morning said that he's going to have to examine every possible situation at the quarterback.
How about you examine yourself? What are you doing starting Hall? And that should have been a quick leash. He should have been pulled early. That was terrible.
At what point in the game
with your season on the line?
You're pulling him late first quarter, right?
Yes.
Like the experiment's over with. This game might get out of hand. Let's go, pal.
So bad. I got 2 things from Saturday night also. How about the pomp and circumstance at halftime with the Jimmy Johnson thing? The whole thing's like, okay, we win back-to-back Super Bowls. You're a big reason why. And the Herschel Walker trade. And then we haven't had any success for 30 years. I keep you out of the Ring of Honor for spite, and I fire you because you were getting so much attention and credit for the Super Bowl wins. Of course, you're the coach, and you drafted all those great players. But now it's like, hey, let's celebrate. Go Cowboys. The whole thing was bizarre. It's like, you kept him out that long? Jimmy Johnson? Come on, Jerry. That's awful.
Well, I mean, just what does that tell you again about Jerry Jones?
I know, no kidding. Right. Oh, why? He fired him because he was getting... Yeah, no kidding.
Think about that for a second.
He's responsible for the Super Bowl runs.
And now for 30 years, the team can't win anything.
Yeah.
Is that okay, Jerry? You're okay with this then?
No kidding.
Because the coach was getting more attention than you were.
And it was a great job. And I know he was in a tough spot because he's a co-worker. But Van Pelt Saturday night, for John Perry to come out and say it, blame the Lions, and say you got to make it clear and not blame Brad Allen was a disgrace. I mean, what is he doing? And Van Pelt's like, he's got to hop up and down if you're Decker. What do you have to do? He wouldn't blame Brad Perry.
Yep.
So bad by John Perry. At least McCauley will come out and those guys will rip other officials and say, I got to tell you, Al, whoever it is, they got this wrong, and McCauley's good. But for John Perry to say that was on the Lions, that's terrible.
Was he, did he have a ham sandwich behind him?
Come on, champ.
Champ?
You can see that, champ. Mm-hmm. Oh, that is so. But come on, John. Give me a break.
It's a brotherhood, right? He's not gonna blame a fellow referee or an official.
Great job by Brent Musburger Sunday morning.
Oh,
Brad Allen should be done.
Yep.
Finito.
He should be goes well into next year. Beyond that, there's no reason for this guy to ever be on the football field ever again.
Yep, and it got worse because guess what? Philly lost. Detroit would have been the 2 seed.
Yep. Everything the Lions said was true and accurate, and they were livid. And again, I go back to the broadcast in real time. Aikman is saying this is a play. Now, if they're going to go for 2 here, this is a play that Dan Campbell's been working on probably all week and maybe even beyond that. So do you think, and Aikman nailed it. Of course they were working on a fat guy touchdown.
Yep.
Right? So they had all their ducks in a row. Campbell told the officials before the game, 68, Decker goes right up to the referee. And because Brad Allen's looking at another guy coming on the field, he screwed it up. Now, again, like most people have pointed out, the Cowboys are probably going to have a guy covering 68 if they know that he's eligible. But it doesn't matter. That's completely on your fault. And to my point earlier, like the NFL needs something bad to happen. In a perfect world, they should be able to admit, oh, sorry, that's on me. 2-point conversion counts. Lions, you're going to win the football game now. Sorry, I owe you one, Dallas.
Yep.
Bad job by me. But they don't do that, and there's no accountability. And there has to be. So, and I don't care about this guy losing his job. That's not enough because the Lions are now the team suffering because of it. And it's unfair to them.
They have to face the music and the bright lights after games.
Yes.
The media, they should have to face the media, and it should be just like the coaches and players. What'd you see? Not some pool reporter, and he's calling the Lions liars. Give me a break.
Exactly right.
And he was also on the Sunday night game with the no call on the PI Green Bay and Kansas City.
Well, Scantling would have dropped the ball anyway.
Probably, yeah. Just like yesterday.
That's it for us. A Happy New Year. And good luck betting everything today. If you missed the show, just search Follow the Money wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you.